welcome into Carrie
Thank
Underwood.
you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And in fact, what are you doing hanging out with me on a public holiday in Melbourne, Australia? And you've just had your first wedding anniversary, haven't you?
Oh, well, almost.
Yeah?
Not quite. We're almost at a year.
Oh, okay, so you'll be home in time for that.
Right, of course.
Good.
I wouldn't miss that.
We need to set the record straight
Yes.
about that. No working on the anniversary
No,
day. Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah. So you're just on a year that you've been married now.
Yeah, July 10th is our anniversary.
Hockey player Mike Fisher. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is hockey big here?
It's not so big here. No,
Okay.
you could walk around relatively unknown.
I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of interesting sports on the television since I've been here, but
Yeah.
hockey wasn't one of them.
Yeah, but it'd be very difficult for you to use the name Carrie Fisher as a performer,
It would.
wouldn't it?
It
Yes.
would.
Yes. I guess, I wouldn't be the first one to point out Princess Leia to you.
No, we actually tried to dress up this past Halloween. I was going to be Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, but the costume was kind of iffy. We ordered off the internet. I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, well, I know I have to be very careful of how I word the questions to you because you do have a bachelor in mass communications, don't
Well,
you? You're
yeah.
specialised in journalism.
Yes,
You'll be able to
but-
call me out on anything I do
Well,
wrong.
I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm a little rusty.
Yeah. So that sort of that degree happened after Idol, didn't it?
Well, I had gone to college 3.5 years before I tried out for Idol, so I only had one semester left before I would get my degree. So I went and tried out. They helped me out and took a little longer than expected, but I did end up graduating
Wow.
after Idol.
You must have been quite the celebrity student towards the end there.
Well, they did make me go sit in class a lot. I had to do a few extra things. They kind of worked it out, and I went and talked to the students and stuff like that because I had been around so many interview situations and been on TV and seen a show being put together, and so I had a lot of experience just watching all that stuff happen. So I got to go back and talk to them about it, and they kind of helped me graduate a little bit.
That must have been fun times at university. I mean, you sort of did very well in the beauty contest there as well, didn't you?
Oh, well, I needed money to go to school. So we had a pageant at our school every year. So I was in that twice. And I managed to get scholarships both times. So I could not work as hard and still be able to pay for school.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, we would have been hearing about you a lot earlier had Capitol Records had their act together.
I was 15-ish at the time, and everything happens for a reason, and I thank God that it all played out the way it did, and I was able to go to school and grow up before I got into the music business.
What style did you have at that Capitol Records period?
About the same. I mean, it was very country. It was obviously I was younger and singing more age-appropriate songs, as a 15-year-old. But yeah, it was kind of the same thing. A lot of sparkle, a lot of country, a lot of big hair.
Did you record for Capitol Records?
Sort of. They kind of did like an artist development thing with me. There was no official deal. They just paid for me to have some songs.
So there's some hidden tape.
Probably.
15-year-old
I
Carrie
really
Underwood.
hope that never comes to surface ever.
Maybe one day when the box set, you get around to that. Yeah. So I guess by the time we got to Idol, then there was quite a lot of experience that you had behind yourself.
Sort of. I mean, there was that, and that was kind of a random thing that just happened. And then other than that, I sang in church, and we had a university company where people danced and sang, and we had a comedian, and the whole theater would seat about 200 people. So I guess we did 4 shows a week, kind of Vegas style, but obviously on a much smaller scale. And it was fun. We all got to get some stage experience from that, and it was good. So just little practice things here and there.
Yeah. And then Idol came along. I believe you auditioned with the Bonnie Raitt song.
I did, and that was kind of a last-minute decision because everybody at the time was singing Alicia Keys and people like that, and I was originally going to go in and sing something like that, and I thought, the judges have been listening to this all day, so I'm just going to pick something else, and that's what came out.
Yeah. Is that a particularly favourite song of yours? Because it is mine. I Can't Make You Love Me by Bonnie Raitt.
Well, I kind of grew up with the George Michael version, so that's more how I knew it. The Bonnie Raitt, I guess original version was kind of secondary to me, but I'm a huge George Michael fan.
You
so.
must also check out the Prince version of that.
Ah,
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Prince
Nice.
did a very tasty version of that on his Emancipation album.
I will do that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So at that point, you're already deciding, you were going to be a country artist.
Oh yeah. I mean, I grew up in Oklahoma, and that's kind of a country music capital, so to speak. We've got people like Garth Brooks and Reba McEntire and Toby Keith, and we just have a ton of country music artists come from Oklahoma. So it's a great, I don't know, you just grew up around it. And that's always what I've loved to do. I like to throw in a little different flavor to it because I grew up listening to everything, but country music is like center, and then we kind of bring in some rock elements and some pop elements and some R&B stuff here and there. So I try to mix it up.
There's even, if I go to the most current album, Play On, and when we open it up with Cowboy Casanova, track 1 on there, that sort of starts off with a bit of a rock beat.
Yeah, it does. I wrote that with a good friend of mine, Brett James and Mike Elizondo. And Mike, if you look at his credentials, he's like worked with Eminem and Dr. Dre and just a ton of people that are not like me at all, and then me. So it was a lot of fun to just bring different people in and kind of see what they could bring to the table, and just throw in a different mix and make something that doesn't sound like anything else.
Mm. So how do you collaborate? Do you literally bring to the table, all sit around the table? And
no table. There's no table. It's a room like this,
Yeah.
just a room, wherever it might be. We just kind of sit around on couches and chairs, and a lot of times somebody will have like a rig or something that or a guitar. Computer stuff that they've been working on, and if somebody has an idea, we go with it, and sometimes we all literally come in with nothing and usually write 1 to 2 songs per day, per time we're together.
If we go back to that first album, it went on to sell 10 million just in America alone, and so few albums in the history of music have sold 10 million.
Yeah, it's the times, they are changing for sure in the music industry, and I was very lucky to come off of American Idol and have a really strong first album that people responded really well to.
Well, even through Idol, you were doing a lot of country and rock too, weren't you?
Well, we were kind of, they have the theme weeks, and so you're kind of forced to sing something other than what you're used to. But I feel like in my case, I kind of sound country no matter what I do. So, no, even if I'm singing a rock song, there's definitely some twang to it.
Yeah. Now, you got to sing Angels Brought Me Here at one point as
That's
well,
right.
which is, one of our Australian songs.
That's right.
Guy Sebastian.
Yep.
Yeah. So how did that one get slotted into the show?
We at the very end, the judges or the producers or different people would pick different songs for us, and that was one that was picked for me, and I didn't know it at the time, so I got to go back and listen to him sing it and learn it off of that. I'd say it suits him better though. I was like, this is a hard song, so.
Yeah. You haven't done a duet with Guy though, have you?
No, I haven't. I've actually never met him, so.
We might have to arrange that.
You
Guy,
might have to.
somebody here
Is he in the
that would like
building
to meet
somewhere?
you.
I'm only here for a
That
week.
was great. Yeah. When the second album, Second Carnival, came about, and that again went on to sell millions of copies. Were you sort of freaked out when you were recording that you had to keep up with the success of the first one, but you then went on to achieve it anyway with the second?
The second one, the whole sophomore album thing, it was, I wasn't worried, but it was something to be mindful of. You definitely wanted to stay true to what you had done because obviously people liked it, but definitely wanted to move forward because, in a couple years, a lot of stuff happens and you grow up immensely in a few years' time, so I definitely tried to make an album that was a little forward but still giving people what they would want. And after that, the third album, I felt like there was some pressure taken off because it's like, well, I've already done 2 and they've done well, so I'm happy with that. We'll just see what happens with the third one.
I'm guessing there must be a fourth one in the head at the moment.
Yeah, I've been writing quite a bit this summer and just getting together with different people, seeing what we can come up with.
Any collaborations coming up?
Well, I just recently did a duet with Brad Paisley.
You did too, yeah.
And his album just came out, so it's on that one, and I'm trying to see if we can't do some kind of like special thing for my next album with that song. So we'll see.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the Brad Paisley thing. This is Country Music, the new album by him, that is just the biggest thing in America at the moment. And is he a particular favourite country artist of yours?
He is. I'm lucky to have a lot of friends in the music business, and I've gotten to go on tour with Brad, and that's kind of how we became friends. And then we host an award show together called the CMA Music Awards, and we have fun. And we're just friends. He and my husband are good buddies, and they hang out with each other outside of me. So it's just it's nice to have him in my life.
Let's talk about one of the songs on the bonus disc of here, and we should point out for the rest of the world, this is the Australian edition.
That's right.
So there's 2 editions of the album, and Australia has its own. Home Sweet Home.
Yeah.
Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Carrie Underwood does Motley Crue.
Well, that was kind of a special thing when I did it. Every year on American Idol, they have like a song that plays when someone gets voted off, and they put together a package showing their journey through American Idol. And that year, they asked me if I would do that one, and I'm a huge Motley Crue fan. I've seen them in concert, and I've met several of the guys, and I'm just I grew up listening to them, so I absolutely love them. So it was a no-brainer for me. I was all about it, and donated all the money from that song to charity when it was on the show. So got to help out a lot of pets, because that's a passion of mine is animals. So all the money from that went to helping animals.
And that is one of the causes that you do spend a lot of time promoting, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just a huge domestic animal lover. Dogs, cats, you name it, I'm there. I grew up with everything's rabbits, lizards. I had a little zoo in my house, so it's just a big passion of mine.
Worms?
I probably played with some worms growing up.
Yeah.
I never had like a worm farm thing going on, but there's still time.
Well, that's sort of, let's just link into talking about Carrie Underwood.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Nice segue. Very nice. Yeah, Carrie Underwood is a character on Sesame Street. It was just kind of a one-time thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if you'd see her again in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to sing the Worm anthem, which was interesting. I'm like in the studio where I sing all these like serious songs, and I'm singing the Worm anthem. Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
And How I Met Your Mother, you had a role in that.
I did.
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I'm a huge fan of the show, and they asked if I'd be on it, and I was like, yes. Where do I sign up? What do I do? How do I do this? I'd never been on a TV show like that before, where it was scripted, and I had to memorize things and try to pretend I knew what I was doing. But it was a lot of fun.
How much time did you spend on that show?
We were actually there for 2 days. Flew out there, and it all happened so suddenly. But there was my schedule was very busy at the time, and they were really nice enough to like work with us and get me out there and do it.
Were you a Doogie Howser fan?
I was.
Yeah.
I actually tried to keep a journal on my computer when I was young it was like a giant computer with the green and the black screen. It was bad. I probably had that until I was like a senior in high school. We didn't have internet till I was pretty old.
Yeah. Now there's an indie film coming up, Soul Surfer. And
yeah.
You've got a role in that.
I do. It's a story. It's kind of a biopic about Bethany Hamilton, who is a pro surfer, and when she was younger, she got attacked by a shark, and she was just up and coming, about to make her mark. Everybody was really excited to see what she was going to do with her career, and then it seemed to be over. It seemed to be, I'm sorry. I hope you had fun surfing while you could, and she refused to accept that, and with the help of her family, she came back stronger than ever, and now she's a pro surfer, and it's just really cool. She's a great girl, and her family is amazing, and they're so strong, and they're so strong in their faith, and they asked me to play kind of her youth counselor. And so it was a small role, but it was a very important role. And getting to meet the real Sarah Hill, she's just such a strong person, and she's helped so many people. So I was honored to be in the movie.
So is there going to be more movie roles and television roles coming up for you?
You never know. I mean, my first love is music, but I kind of take everything as it comes. You know, I'm never looking too specifically like I want to be in a movie this year, make it happen. You know, it's kind of like you know, making the album, kind of taking things easy and just seeing what doors open up. And then we figure out what we're going to do from there.
Yeah. Now, I know I have to behave myself when I ask you questions because you are a kickboxer, aren't you?
A kickboxer?
Yeah.
Not quite.
You do kickboxing?
I do enjoy various fitness workouts, and boxing is one of them.
Yeah.
I've never boxed another individual,
Okay.
but
That's good to know.
yes, no, it's mainly like pads and somebody else, you know, holding things for me to hit and kick. But I do enjoy just random workout things.
How much time per day do you work out?
When I'm on the road, it got up to 2 hours a day, about 6 days a week, which is way too much. I found myself kind of bulking up. But now, you know, an hour, 5 days a week.
And also food is something that you're very, very cautious of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not cautious. I just have a passion for being healthy, but I love food. So, you know, it's just finding that balance and being able to work out and eat healthy, but also enjoy myself and, you know, be able to go out to dinner with my friends or my husband. And it's just finding a healthy balance in life between work and friends and sleep and all that.
Yeah. And one final one, performing in Iraq must have been an amazing time for you.
It was. We went a few years ago right before Christmas, and just meeting all the people and seeing it firsthand. And so many, one thing that really surprised me is so many of the people were like, here's pictures of what we do here. We know you only see the bad stuff on the news, but and they were like handing out, you know, classroom supplies to children or handing out toys or books or things like that. And it was really quite amazing just to get to talk to them and kind of see things from their perspective and see a lot of the good stuff that they were doing there. And of course, getting to perform in front of an armed audience was interesting. They all like had to have their guns on them all the time. So, and we had to wear the flak jackets and helmets everywhere we went. So that was interesting, but it was a lot of fun. I'd like to go back if it's possible, if we can work it out.
Well, it's a great story, and thank you for coming in and telling us this story.
Thanks,
Carrie
for
Underwood.